Okay, so I'm going to show you how to get some basic functions in. So what we're going to do is go up to File, create a new document. This is where your resolution, okay, for print, it'll always be at 300, for screen size, 72. I usually change my pixels to inches, and almost anything that I work on, I do an 8.5 by 11 document. CMYK color is for printing. RGB is for anything that's just used on screen only. So now that we have a new document, you want to make some text. So go on over here to the left and find your tool. Make sure it's the horizontal text tool, and what you can do is you just click and a cursor will appear. Okay, there's not actually any text boxes in Photoshop. So we can do your name. Now what might end up happening, because you're not seeing anything, is up here the font color is actually white. So we're going to highlight all the text, and it's even over here in your character window. You go up to Window, scroll down to Character, and there it unchecked it. When you check it, it comes up. So now that my text is highlighted, pick a color that you want, and we can go for a teal color, and there's your name. One of two ways to make this bigger while it's highlighted. You can go up to right here, your text size tool. It's at 60 point. We can make it 72, or we can highlight it, type in 150, and go up to the left side, and the little arrow with the plus tool is our move tool. So we can center that. Another thing that we can do is with our move tool, hold down Control and press T, and that's going to bring up a sizing box. Okay, if you just move these separately, it will distort the font. Control Z will always take you a step back, but if you hold Shift and you pull from the corner, it will maintain its proportions. So we can make it large, we can make it small. Now if you wanted to set this inside of a box, we can go down to our shape button right here. It's right underneath this direct selection tool right above the hand. You're going to hold it down because there's a little arrow, which means that there's more options, and we can do a rectangle. Okay, come up here, make a rectangle. Now because this layer over here is above the text, now it's going to block out the text. So we can just drag this underneath the name, and now the name will appear, but with the rectangle selected on the layer. Let's go up to the fill box and let's choose hot pink. So now there's some basic text, but if you go to use the move tool, it's only going to move the rectangle. So what you can do if you're done with everything, the text is good as is, we can either flatten the layers, or let's click on your name and go down to FX, and let's choose a stroke, which is going to outline the name. Okay, this is your whole little customized FX box. You could choose the color of your stroke here, so let's make it white. The size is going to determine how big and how small it is. Okay, so we can do that. We can add a little drop shadow if we wanted. Of course, because of how big the stroke is, it's not really going to be noticeable. But we could do that. Kind of makes it look like it's jumping off of the rectangle. Okay, so now once you're done, what I usually do is select your name layer, select that by holding Control, hit Control G. Now it's a group. So now anytime you want to move this, you can move it. Okay, if you want to Control T and resize it, you can. The only thing is when you have effects on it, the effects are going to distort. So what you're going to do is click an arrow so that way it lets you apply it. Go to your group, go to your name. If you are 100% satisfied with the effects that are on it, and you need to resize it, right click and convert to Smart Object. Okay, so now when we click on the group, Control T, Shift to resize, now your effects are going to stay the same no matter how big or small they are. Another great thing to make some background boxes for text is go down to this custom shape tool here on the left, and then up in the toolbar you're going to see this shape box, and when you click it open there's going to be a whole plethora of things that you're going to find. So if you wanted a nice ribbon to go ahead and put your name on, you can put a stroke on it. Decide how big you want the stroke, and you can make it dashed or dotted lines or normal lines. Oops, just hit cancel. And then you can go ahead when you're done blending your photos and everything. You can always save your file as a PSD, and you can save it as a JPEG. Okay, and what that'll do is that'll just save it as a smaller file that doesn't need to be opened up with Photoshop. When you're submitting files, I will say this, use the Save for Web feature. It is going to save it as a JPEG, a GIF, or a PNG, whatever you choose. I always choose JPEGs. This is going to make it small for you, file size. It doesn't make the actual document smaller, so that way when you go to upload it to your instructor, you will be good to go. And I will also cancel out of here. Now in Illustrator, which we are in right now, same thing, new file, just click OK, make sure 8.5 by 11. And what you can do here, which is great, is you have your text tool. There's a character panel. I have mine set up to essential, so it's just like Photoshop. Again, just one click. There's no text boxes. Type a name. The black arrow is going to select it. Go to your font size. Put in however you want it to be. Now the nice thing about this is when you click on the font under character, you could just use a scroll button on your mouse and just kind of look through and see what text you like. Zafont is great to go download them. And you can see if there's a bold option or an italicized. There's not. Okay, now if you wanted to, you can use a pen tool I love. You make one click here and then make another click, and while holding it down you can even make little swirly doodads. Okay, now you notice that this is filled in. Go up to your black arrow, click on it. Up at the top you're going to select no fill, which is the little red line, and pick whatever color stroke you like. Right here is the size of the stroke. Go up to 8 if you want. This little option right here will taper the ends. Okay, there's a bunch of little options here that you can go through. And there's also paintbrush tools down here for when you get into it a little bit more that will also change it. Okay, and what you can do when you're working on larger projects is you can highlight it with the black arrow, edit copy, or Control C, edit paste. So you can work on your font in Illustrator, which I almost always do. Sometimes the screen will go black. Just click an arrow, it'll come back. And then the same thing with any of your swirls and your creations. It's better to do it in Illustrator. Copy and then paste, because they're vector objects. No matter how big they get, they will always be smooth. So I could even stretch this baby right on out, and now the lines are smooth. So I'm at 66%. Okay, you can see where I typed your name in Photoshop. it's already starting to pixelate a little bit more. Okay, we're pretty zoomed in. But we could make this file, we could actually stretch it big and it will maintain its proportions. If you need anything specifically, you want me to show you how to do something, just let me know and I will post a video for you.